What if you could walk through the gates of history, step into the heart of ancient civilizations, and stand before monuments so extraordinary they've been protected for all humanity? This is the power of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, wonders chosen not just for their beauty, but for their universal value to our shared story. Our journey begins at one of the most awe-inspiring places on Earth, the Great Wall of China. Stretching more than 21,000 kilometers across mountains, deserts, and valleys, the Great Wall is not just a wall, it is a symbol of human determination. Imagine standing on its ancient stones, the wind brushing past you, and the horizon stretching endlessly. Each brick tells the story of emperors, soldiers, and builders who, over centuries, created the longest man-made structure in the world. Originally built to protect Chinese kingdoms from invasions, the wall is also a cultural thread binding together dynasties, legends, and the spirit of a nation. But the Great Wall is not one uniform line of stone. It is a living puzzle of watchtowers, fortresses, and winding paths. Sections like Badaling and Mutianyu near Beijing reveal the grandeur restored for visitors, while wilder parts such as Jianghu and Jinshanling show the rugged, untouched spirit of the wall in its raw beauty. Each curve follows the natural landscape, climbing steep ridges and descending into valleys, as if the wall itself is part of the mountains. Walking along it, you realize it is more than a defensive barrier. It's a place of breathtaking scenery. Sunrise paints the stones in gold, while sunset turns the horizon crimson. In winter, snow transforms the wall into a silent, white ribbon stretching endlessly into the distance. It's not just history, it's a canvas of nature and time woven together. Legends also surround the wall. One of the most famous is the story of Meng Jiangnu, a woman whose tears, shed for her husband forced into labor, caused a section of the wall to collapse. Stories like these remind us that behind every stone were lives, sacrifices, and untold human struggles. Today, the Great Wall stands as both a monument and a mirror. It reflects the ingenuity of humanity, our desire for security, and our pursuit of greatness. UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site in 1987, recognizing it as a treasure not only of China, but of the entire world. It is a reminder of how civilizations rise, defend, and endure. To walk the Great Wall is to walk through centuries, to feel the weight of history under your feet, and to witness one of the greatest architectural achievements ever built. But our journey has just begun. From the stones of China, we now travel west to another wonder that rises from the sands of history, a city carved into rock, a hidden masterpiece of civilization. Next, we step into Petra, the rose city of Jordan. What if I told you there's a city hidden in the desert, a city carved entirely into rose-red cliffs, so mysterious that, for centuries, the outside world forgot it even existed? This is Petra, the legendary Rose City of Jordan, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that feels like a living dream. Stepping into Petra is like walking into the pages of history, where every stone whispers secrets of an ancient civilization. Your journey begins with the Sick, a narrow canyon that stretches for nearly a kilometer. Towering cliffs rise on both sides, glowing with shades of red, orange, and gold. The passage twists and turns like a secret corridor, building anticipation with every step. And then, suddenly, the path opens, and there it is. The treasury, or Alcazne, reveals itself in breathtaking splendor, carved directly into the sandstone. Its massive facade gleams in the desert sun, a blend of Greek, Roman, and Nabatean artistry. This moment, when the treasury first comes into view, is one of the most unforgettable sights in the world. Petra was once the capital of the Nabatean kingdom, a thriving civilization of traders who controlled routes between Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. They were masters of engineering, carving not just monumental temples but also creating an advanced water system that allowed their city to flourish in one of the harshest deserts on Earth. Walking through Petra, you see evidence of their genius everywhere in reservoirs, channels, and cisterns that sustained life for thousands of people. But Petra is far more than just the treasury. As you continue deeper, you discover an entire city carved into the cliffs. The street of facade is lined with grand tombs, their entrances etched into the rock like silent guardians of history. The royal tombs rise majestically, their massive size and intricate carvings testifying to the wealth and power of the Nabateans. And then there is the monastery, or Ad-Dir. Larger even than the treasury, it sits high on a hilltop, requiring hundreds of stone steps to reach. The climb is challenging, but the reward is immense, an awe-inspiring facade framed by the endless desert beyond. Petra is also a place of hidden paths and quiet moments. Wander into the lesser-known trails, and you'll find carved altars, ancient stairways, and rock-hewn sanctuaries where Nabateans once worshipped their gods. At night, the city transforms. Thousands of candles flicker along the sick, leading to the treasury bathed in soft, golden light. The silence of the desert amplifies the magic as traditional Bedouin music drifts through the canyon. It is as if time itself pauses, letting you feel the spirit of those who once walked here. The rediscovery of Petra in the 19th century shocked the world. For centuries, it had been forgotten, its wonders buried by time and sand, known only to the Bedouin tribes who lived nearby. When Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt disguised himself as a pilgrim and convinced locals to guide him there in 1812, Petra re-emerged as one of the greatest archaeological treasures of humanity. UNESCO recognized its universal significance in 1985, declaring it not only a heritage of Jordan, but a heritage of all humankind. But Petra is not just about stone monuments. It is about resilience, ingenuity, and survival. It tells the story of a people who turned desert into empire, who carved their glory into mountains, and who left behind a legacy that continues to inspire awe. The Nabateans may be gone, but their city remains eternal, etched into rock and memory. Standing before Petra's monuments, you can't help but feel humbled. The sheer scale, the artistry, the survival of it all. Petra is not simply a wonder to look at. It is a reminder of the greatness humanity can achieve, even in the harshest conditions. As the desert sun sets, painting the cliffs in shades of crimson and purple, you realize that Petra is more than a destination, it is an experience, one that lingers in your heart forever. But our journey does not stop here. From the rose-red city of Jordan, we now cross oceans and continents to another world wonder, an ancient city of stone, perched high in the Andes, shrouded in mist and mystery. Next, we uncover the secrets of Machu Picchu, the lost city of the Incas. What if you could climb above the clouds and discover a city the world had forgotten? Imagine standing on a mountain ridge where mist drifts across stone terraces, temples, and walls that seem to defy time. This is Machu Picchu, the legendary lost city of the Incas, perched high in the Andes of Peru. Declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983, Machu Picchu is not only one of the world's greatest archaeological treasures, but also one of its deepest mysteries. Hidden nearly 2,500 meters above sea level, Machu Picchu was unknown to the outside world until 1911, when American explorer Hiram Bingham brought it to international attention. But even then, much about the city remained unexplained. Why was it built? What purpose did it serve? And how did the Incas, without iron tools or wheels, construct such a masterpiece of engineering in the heart of the mountains? These questions continue to intrigue historians and travelers alike. Walking through Machu Picchu is like stepping into another world. Terraces cascade down the slopes, carved from stone to grow crops and prevent erosion. Pathways lead to temples, plazas, and homes, all perfectly aligned with the natural landscape. The Temple of the Sun, with its curved walls and precise stonework, stands as a testament to the Incas' astronomical knowledge. On the winter solstice, the sun's rays align perfectly with the temple's windows, showing the deep connection between architecture, astronomy, and spirituality. One of the most iconic sites is the Intihuatana stone, often called the hitching post of the Sunday. It is believed to have been an astronomical clock or ritual stone used to track the movement of the sun across the sky. When you place your hand near it, many say they can feel the energy that radiates from this ancient marker. Whether legend or truth, it adds to the mystique of Machu Picchu. The Incas built Machu Picchu without mortar, using a technique called ashlar. Stones were cut so precisely that even a blade of grass cannot fit between them. This engineering not only created structures of incredible beauty, but also ensured they could withstand earthquakes. Centuries later, their walls remain firm, a reminder of the Incas' mastery of both nature and design. But beyond its architecture, Machu Picchu is defined by its setting. Surrounded by jagged peaks and dense forests, the site is often shrouded in mist, creating an atmosphere of otherworldly mystery. At sunrise, when golden light spills across the stones, it feels as though the city is waking from a centuries-long dream. At sunset, as shadows stretch across the terraces, you realize you are standing in a place where time seems to stand still. For travelers, reaching Machu Picchu is as much a journey as a destination. Some arrive by train through the sacred valley, passing rivers and villages before climbing to the site. Others take the Inca Trail, a multi-day trek through cloud forests, ancient paths, and mountain passes. The moment when trekkers arrive at the Sun Gate, the Inti Punku, and see Machu Picchu for the first time is one of the most powerful experiences in travel. Even today, Machu Picchu guards its secrets. Was it a royal estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti? A sacred religious site? A retreat for elites? Scholars continue to debate its true purpose, adding layers of intrigue to its beauty. But perhaps the mystery is part of its magic, an invitation for each visitor to find their own meaning among the stones. Machu Picchu is not only a wonder of the world, it is a reminder of human potential, resilience, and vision. The Incas created a city that harmonized with nature, that celebrated the cosmos, and that continues to inspire awe centuries later. UNESCO recognized it as a heritage for all humanity, a place where past and present meet in breathtaking harmony. As you stand on a terrace, gazing down at the ruins framed by soaring peaks, the world feels both vast and intimate. You are connected not just to the Incas, but to every traveler who has stood in this same spot, marveling at the same view. Machu Picchu is not just stone and sky, it is spirit, memory, and wonder. But our journey does not end here. From the mists of the Andes, we now travel across oceans to another masterpiece, an island in the Mediterranean where history rises in stone, and where an ancient temple complex reveals the genius of human civilization. Next, we step into the heart of Greece and explore the Acropolis of Athens. What if the foundations of an entire civilization could be traced to one hill, one collection of temples, one vision of beauty and knowledge that still shapes our world today? That place exists. It is the Acropolis of Athens. Rising high above the modern city, the Acropolis is not just a monument of stone, but a symbol of democracy, philosophy, and art, declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987. As you climb the sacred rock, every step takes you closer to history itself. The Acropolis, which means high city, was built during the Golden Age of Athens in the 5th century BC, under the leadership of Pericles. At that time, Athens had become a center of culture, learning, and power. To reflect its greatness, the Athenians constructed temples and sanctuaries dedicated to their gods, most famously to Athena, the goddess of wisdom and protector of the city. The crown jewel of the Acropolis is the Parthenon. With its majestic Doric columns, perfect proportions, and intricate sculptures, it remains one of the greatest achievements of architecture in human history. Built between 447 and 432 BC, the Parthenon was more than a temple. It was a statement of Athenian power, unity, and devotion. Its friezes and pediments once displayed vibrant scenes of gods, heroes, and myth, carved with extraordinary skill. Even today, though weathered by time, The Parthenon radiates a timeless beauty that continues to inspire architects, artists, and dreamers across the world. But the Acropolis is not just the Parthenon. Standing nearby is the Erechtheion, one of the most elegant temples ever built, dedicated to both Athena and Poseidon. Its most famous feature is the Porch of the Caryatids, where 6 graceful female figures replace traditional columns, holding the weight of the roof with quiet strength. Each figure is unique, draped in flowing garments that seem alive in the stone. Looking at them, you feel both the artistry and reverence of the ancient Athenians. Then there is the Propylaea, the monumental gateway that welcomed visitors to the sacred rock, and the Temple of Athena Nike, a smaller yet powerful tribute to the goddess of victory. Together, these structures form more than a collection of ruins. They form a vision of an entire worldview, where religion, politics, and philosophy intertwined. The Acropolis was not just about worship, it was about ideals. Here, in the shadow of these temples, the seeds of democracy were sown. Here, philosophers like Socrates and Plato walked, discussing questions of justice, virtue, and the meaning of life. Here, theater and art flourished, laying the groundwork for Western thought and creativity. Standing atop the Acropolis today, overlooking Athens, the contrast is striking. Below lies a modern metropolis, alive with traffic and noise. But above, in this timeless sanctuary, the stones whisper stories from over 2,500 years ago. At sunset, when golden light washes over the marble, the Acropolis glows like a beacon, a reminder that the pursuit of beauty, wisdom, and freedom is as eternal as the stones themselves. The Acropolis has endured war, earthquakes, and centuries of change. It was converted into a church, then a mosque, even a military stronghold. Parts of it were destroyed, and treasures were taken, scattered across museums of the world. Yet, despite it all, the spirit of the Acropolis remains unbroken. It is more than ruins. It is resilience, a monument not only to what was built, but to what has endured. For millions of visitors each year, walking through the Acropolis is a pilgrimage, a chance to connect with the origins of so much that shapes our present. To stand where ancient Athenians once stood, to gaze upon the same skyline, to feel the same awe. It is to step into the flow of human history and recognize that we are part of a story much greater than ourselves. This is why UNESCO honors the Acropolis not only as a heritage of Greece, but as a heritage of humanity. It embodies the spirit of inquiry, the love of beauty, and the striving for excellence that continue to inspire people everywhere. And so, from the heights of Athens, we now journey eastward, across seas and centuries, to another world wonder, a place carved from red sandstone, hidden in desert canyons, where an ancient civilization created a city of breathtaking mystery. Next, we step into Petra, the rose-red city of Jordan. Imagine walking through a narrow canyon, its towering cliffs glowing in shades of red and gold as sunlight filters down. The path winds deeper, the walls closing in, until suddenly the passage opens, and before you stands a vision so extraordinary, it seems like a dream carved in stone. This is Petra, Jordan's legendary rose-red city, half as old as time. A wonder hidden in the desert, a masterpiece of ancient craftsmanship, and a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1985. Petra was the capital of the Nabateans, an Arab people who thrived as traders more than 2,000 years ago. Situated at the crossroads of ancient trade routes, Petra became a bustling hub where caravans carrying spices, silk, and incense passed through. But the Nabateans were more than traders, they were visionaries. They carved their city directly into the sandstone cliffs, blending architecture with nature in a way that leaves travelers speechless to this day. The most iconic monument is Al-Khazneh, or the Treasury. As you step out of the narrow gorge that serves as Petra's entrance, you are greeted by its majestic facade. Standing nearly 40 meters tall, its intricate carvings, Corinthian columns, and delicate details reflect both Greek and Eastern influences, showing the cultural exchange that made Petra so unique. Though called a treasury, it was most likely a tomb or temple, but its mystery only adds to its allure. But Petra is far more than just the treasury. As you wander through the city, you encounter hundreds of tombs, temples, and rock-cut facades, each one a story etched into stone. The street of facade stretches with monumental tombs, while the royal tombs tower over the valley like guardians of the past. Climb the steps to the monastery, Al-Dir, an even larger structure than the treasury, perched high above the city. The climb is challenging, but the view is unforgettable. Rolling hills, desert cliffs, and the grandeur of Petra spread before you. One of Petra's marvels lies beneath the surface. The Nabateans were master engineers, creating advanced water systems that allowed the city to flourish in the desert. They carved channels, dams, and cisterns to capture and store water, turning a barren landscape into a thriving oasis. This ingenuity is part of what made Petra not only survive, but thrive as one of the great cities of the ancient world. Yet, Petra is also a place of mystery. Why did the Nabatean civilization decline? Some say shifting trade routes, others point to Roman conquest or natural disasters. What remains is a city frozen in time, abandoned and hidden until it was rediscovered in the early 19th century by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt. Since then, Petra has captured the imagination of travelers, writers, and filmmakers. It even became immortalized in popular culture as the site of Indiana Jones' legendary quest for the Holy Grail. But Petra is more than a backdrop. It is an experience. Walking through its sandstone canyons, you feel history pressing in from every side. The colors of the rock shift with the sun, from deep crimson at dawn to glowing orange at sunset. The silence of the desert amplifies every sound, the crunch of footsteps, the whisper of wind, the echo of your own awe. And when night falls, Petra transforms. Under a blanket of stars, illuminated by flickering candles, the treasury glows with an almost mystical light, a reminder that this city belongs as much to legend as it does to history. UNESCO recognized Petra not just for its stunning architecture, but for what it represents: the ingenuity of human beings to create beauty and life in even the harshest conditions. It is a cultural crossroads, a city where East met West, where trade fueled innovation, and where stone itself was shaped into poetry. For visitors, Petra is not just about seeing monuments, it's about feeling connected to a world long gone, yet strangely familiar. To stand before the treasury is to stand in the presence of time itself, to realize that civilizations rise and fall, but their spirit endures in what they leave behind. From the deserts of Jordan, our journey now takes us further east, into the heart of India. Here lies another monument of breathtaking beauty, a symbol of eternal love, and perhaps the most famous UNESCO World Heritage Site of all, the Taj Mahal. What if love itself could be captured in stone, eternal and unchanging, a monument so perfect that it takes your breath away every time you see it? That vision exists, shimmering like a pearl under the Indian sky. This is the Taj Mahal, the crown jewel of Agra, and perhaps the most famous UNESCO World Heritage Site on Earth. Built not only as a masterpiece of architecture, but as an everlasting symbol of devotion, the Taj Mahal is often described as the most beautiful building in the world. And when you see it, you understand why. The Taj Mahal was commissioned in the 17th century by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal. She was his confidant, his companion, and his queen. But when she died during childbirth, Shah Jahan was devastated. Out of his grief was born a dream, a mausoleum that would capture the depth of his love and stand as a beacon of eternal beauty. Construction began in 1632 and took over 20 years, with thousands of artisans, architects, and laborers shaping marble into perfection. Approaching the Taj Mahal is an experience of anticipation. You pass through grand gates, walk along a central water channel, And then suddenly it appears, a white marble dome rising against the sky, reflected perfectly in the pools below. The symmetry is flawless, every detail meticulously planned. Flanking the central dome are elegant minarets, while delicate carvings and inlaid precious stones shimmer on the walls. As the sun moves, the marble changes color, soft pink at dawn, dazzling white in the day, and glowing gold in the moonlight. It feels alive, as if the building itself breathes with the rhythm of time. Step closer, and you find that the Taj is not just about grand design, it is about intricate detail. The marble walls are inlaid with semi-precious stones, lapis lazuli, jade, carnelian, forming delicate floral patterns and Quranic verses. The craftsmanship is so precise that the stones still shine as if newly set. Centuries later, inside the mausoleum, the cenotaphs of Shah Jahan, Mumtaz Mahal lie beneath a lattice of marble screens, a place of stillness and reverence. The real tombs lie below, hidden from sight, as tradition dictates. But the Taj Mahal is more than a tomb, it is an entire complex. Surrounding it are gardens, inspired by the Persian concept of paradise, divided into 4 parts by waterways that symbolize the rivers of life. To the west stands a grand mosque, still in use today, while to the east is a guest house, balancing the symmetry of the site. Together, these elements create harmony, a union of architecture, nature, and spirituality. What makes the Taj Mahal so powerful is not just its beauty, but the emotion it carries. It is a story of love and loss, of human grief transformed into art. Every visitor feels it, the quiet reverence, the awe, the sense that this place transcends time. For centuries, poets have called it a teardrop on the cheek of eternity, and standing before it, you understand the truth of those words. The Taj has also endured its share of history. It survived invasions, wars, and the passage of time. It faced threats from pollution and over-tourism, yet it remains restored and protected as one of UNESCO's treasures. Each year, millions come to Agra to stand before this wonder, to take in its beauty, and to connect, even briefly, to the story of love that built it. At sunrise, when the first light touches the marble, the Taj Mahal feels otherworldly, almost divine. At night, under a full moon, it glows with an ethereal light, as if floating between heaven and earth. These moments remind us why the Taj Mahal is not just a monument of India, but a monument of humanity, a symbol that love is the most powerful legacy we can leave behind. From the deserts of Jordan to the gardens of India, our journey across the wonders of the world continues. Next, we travel across the seas, into the heart of East Asia, where ancient walls stretch beyond the horizon, winding across mountains and valleys. A wonder so vast it can be seen from space, the Great Wall of China. What if a single wall could stretch across mountains, deserts, and plains so vast that it weaves like a dragon across the earth, disappearing into the horizon? This is no myth. It is the Great Wall of China, one of humanity's greatest engineering marvels, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1987, and a symbol of endurance, protection, and the willpower of a civilization. The origins of the Great Wall go back more than 2,000 years, to the 7th century BC, when rival kingdoms began building walls to defend their territories. But it was during the reign of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China in the 3rd century BC, that these walls were connected into a vast defense system. Over centuries, dynasties continued to expand, rebuild, and fortify the wall, with the Ming Dynasty, 14th to 17th century, leaving behind the sections most visible today. Stretching more than 21,000 kilometers across northern China, the Great Wall is not a single structure, but a network of walls, watchtowers, fortresses, and passes. It snakes over rugged mountains, crosses barren deserts, and winds through fertile valleys. Built from tamped earth, wood, brick, and stone, the wall was both a physical and psychological barrier designed to protect China from invasions, control trade routes, and demonstrate imperial power. Walking along the Great Wall is an overwhelming experience. From the top of its towers, the wall seems endless, vanishing into misty peaks and faraway landscapes. Each step carries the weight of history, the labor of millions of soldiers, peasants, and prisoners who built it stone by stone. It is said that countless lives were lost in its construction, giving rise to the name, the longest cemetery on Earth. Yet, their sacrifice created something so enduring that it still stands centuries later. One of the most visited sections is Badaling, near Beijing, where the wall has been restored and allows travelers to imagine its grandeur as it once stood. Here, the towers rise proudly, connected by steep staircases and wide pathways. Further afield, sections like Mutianyu and Jinshanling offer a quieter, more rugged experience, with breathtaking views of the wall weaving like a ribbon across green hills. For the truly adventurous, wild and unrestored stretches like Jiangku reveal the raw, untamed spirit of this colossal wonder. But the wall is more than stone and mortar. It is a story of connection. Along its length were garrisons and outposts where soldiers lived, watched the skies, and sent signals with smoke and fire. It became part of the Silk Road, controlling trade and cultural exchange between East and West. In many ways, the wall was both a shield and a bridge, a line that separated yet also linked civilizations. Standing on the Great Wall today, you cannot help but feel humbled. The sheer scale defies imagination. To build such a structure without modern machinery, across such difficult terrain, shows the determination and vision of a people determined to protect their world. At sunrise, when the first light gilds the battlements, the wall glows golden against the mountains. At sunset, when shadows stretch across its length, it feels timeless, as though the wall itself is a living memory of China's past. UNESCO recognized the Great Wall as a heritage of humanity, not just for its size, but for what it represents. It is a reminder of the ingenuity, sacrifice, and resilience of human civilization. It is also a symbol of unity built to protect a nation, but today, inspiring people across the world who marvel at its endurance. For travelers, visiting the wall is more than sightseeing. It is a journey into history, a chance to stand where emperors once stood, where soldiers once kept watch, where the fate of dynasties was defended. Each stone whispers stories of triumph, hardship, and hope. As our journey across the wonders of the world comes to an end, the Great Wall leaves us with a powerful lesson. Civilizations rise and fall, but their spirit remains in the monuments they leave behind. From the pyramids of Egypt to the walls of China, from temples in Greece to cities carved in stone, humanity's wonders remind us of what we are capable of, our creativity, our resilience, and our longing to leave a mark on time. The Great Wall of China is not just the end of our journey. It is a symbol of journeys yet to come, a call to explore, to wonder, and to remember that the world is full of stories waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.